welcome back to Whispers of Truth. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to talk about a couple of different things today and do some different readings. I just set up this new little space. I painted the table that I found. So I'm really excited about it, but I'm still trying to get situated with cameras and lighting and all that stuff. So bear with me if it feels cluttered. This is my first time trying it out, and I've got a lot of decks that I want to use. So anyway, without further ado, um, pardon me. Anyway, without further ado, I wanted to chat really quick. Oh, I hear neighbors slamming doors. I wanted to chat really quick with you about when you have a calling and you're from the light. As in you're not trying to harm anyone, you're not out for vengeance, you don't try to hurt people if they upset you, you don't wish ill. If you're trying to not spread hatred or lies or whatnot, and gossip or whatever it is, the negative low vibe energy. So if you're more of the light, and you're of the light, usually those are the dark side, they know they're the dark side. But anyway, so if you're of the light and you're out there trying to do good, and it seems like, random things or people, like stuff will just happen or whatever, or people will come across your path that try to hurt you or knock you away from your destiny, right? So basically, there's a saying, that the light attracts the darkness, right? So the darkness is attracted to the light. And so no matter what, we're always going to be attracting that. I call it our polar opposites. and so basically there's always that, that dark side energy that's trying to come after our light and trying to knock us off our path or our destiny. And so this reading is going to be about that. But really quick, I wanted to touch base on what that means to me. I should probably do a separate video for it so that I don't irritate people coming for a reading and I talk about, paths. So yeah, I'll probably post this as a separate video. Anyway, so the path, just to give you a little more background, I don't know if you watched any of my other videos, like I don't know if it was in my intro or some other follow-up videos that I did after that. But basically, I'm pretty sure I posted a video where I was talking about, I had a conversation with the moon and the ocean, and I had confirmation and everything, and it blew my mind. And so I was given an assignment, and I ended up dropping the ball for years. I was supposed to be helping to heal the ozone layer. And when I finally, woke up and caught all the clues and hints and realized, like, oh my God, they've been trying to tell me for so long, and show me signs. Like, I literally heard the angels say, finally, like, oh my gosh, like, hello, where I remembered, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be helping to heal the ozone layer. And I was like, holy crap. And so I apologized. And so I got to work, and then I started dropping the ball again. So I set up reminders on my phone. So twice a day, because I think I set it for like the first reminders, like 2 hours earlier or something like that. So I get a couple of reminders throughout the day and evening to heal the ozone layer. And so when I wasn't doing it, there was a few, I don't know if it was days or like a week or something, where I wasn't healing the ozone layer. And this is after I've moved out here. I'm back east, and I'm a city girl from southern, like California and Hawaii and tropical, but not, melt your behind off humid. And so anyway, so I come out here, and it's summertime hit, and let me rewind. So I've been healing the ozone layer, and when I do it, I end up where I focus on cooling, like I use a cooling light. So I like to use a blue, just like the shade blue. I don't know if it shows up on the camera right of the pyramid, but that was changing colors. But basically, I like to use the color blue. Even though I'm not fire, it is a fire element that I'm using. I'm air and earth, and but I use all the elements, and so I learned not to limit myself, and who's to tell me that I can't use them, right? Ring the bell. Eat shaka shaka. So anyway, so I like to use blue, and I like to heal the ozone layer with blue, and it's kind of it's the coolest part of the flame of a fire, but I use blue to heal the ozone layer. And anyway, so I had been doing it for a consistent amount of time, and I ended up feeling like I extended winter. Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, as I was driving out here, even there was like all these storms, and GPS kept wanting to reroute me, and I was like, no, no, stop. And I kept catching it and kept backtracking, and it took me forever to get out here because the GPS trying to reroute me and going in circles. So anyway, so I wound up where I manifested that, the weather and the storm would pass before I made it to anywhere where, the effects and the after effects, that I'd be safe and the angels would protect me. So I wouldn't encounter anything crazy, like crazy weather that I couldn't handle. And so my whole trip was pretty groovy. It wasn't bad at all for weather. And I was right. Like, I literally missed storms, like tail ends of everything, or, whatever. So I just missed it. It was awesome. I drove in a little bit of rain here and there, but it wasn't bad, and snow occasionally, but it was nothing bad. So anyway, so I ended up feeling like I extended winter after I got here, and everybody was saying, like, oh, it's, it keeps snowing. Like, the sun comes out and it's acting like it's going to go into spring. This was back in like February when it was supposed to be starting to be spring, and February, March, and even April, like, I was just goofing around and started, like, seeing like how far can I take this, because it seemed like every time I was healing the ozone with the blue flame, because that's the coldest part of the flame, so it's cold, so I'm not really taking anything from the Arctic or anything like that, I don't think. I'm using the blue flame and energy that is just abundant around us, so I'm just healing with light and love. And so anyway, so the weather literally extended, like the winter extended, like it snowed like so many more times, because I was like, I want snow. The next morning, like, I woke up to pee at like 4 a.m. or something, and it was freaking snowing. I was like, no way, because it was supposed to be like hot. So anyway, so now here we are in what is it, July, and it's only been like really hot like maybe 4 or 5 times, if that. I'd say roughly, okay, fine, maybe 5 times. It's been hot throughout this summer. Um, at least that I've seen or noticed. It hasn't been too bad. It's been overcast. It's been raining a lot. Like, when I check the weather, they say, like, oh, this is so rare. And I'm like, oh, whoops, and then they're trying to say, like, oh, it's, like some different global climate change because of, whatever, they have all this scientific stuff saying that they have these reasons for this happening, and the ozone layer is healing and the holes are closing, and like, the U.S. says they're closed up, and we're on track to be back to like 1980s. But like a year and a half ago, about a year and a half ago, I guess, almost 2 years now, when I first started back on healing the ozone, it was talking about that we were supposed to have this Noah's Ark type flood. And, because of the ozone and everything being all off balance and whatever, and like, and so when I Googled it, about a year and a half, 2 years ago or so now, when I Googled it back then, like, it was bad. Like, they were saying, like, ooh, doom and gloom, and that the world was supposed to end by the year 2040. And then I did a tarot reading for a friend that called me up, and she's very spiritual. I think I mentioned her before in other videos. And she had asked me to do this reading, and so I did this reading for her, and she asked me, like, it was just a couple cards for each question, and she had, like, 3 questions, and she said that, the angels and her ancestors told her to call me and ask me to do this. So we were on the phone for hours, ended up doing the reading, and I said, well, I never did a reading with asking for specific dates and numbers, and she was asking about when's the reset, when's the flood going to happen. And I was like, okay, I'll try. And she was like, I'll just try and see what the numbers come up on the cards. So we did it, and it came out to 2037. And I was like, holy crap, because it was 2040, according to NASA. And so now, about a week ago now, it's been about a week, I guess, like, the angels were nudging me, because I was like, am I really actually healing the ozone? Like, really, come on. And I'm like, is this for real? And they're, like, nudging me to, like, go look online, like, go Google it now. And so when I Googled this stuff, like, it's nowhere near what it was saying before. And so some of the stuff, the dates look like it may have changed, and, like, I don't know, things are, I don't know. It's almost like, how they have that Mandela effect on some of the dates. I'm like, what? Like, I thought a few months this date or whatever, but it reminds me of, when, what's his face? Whichever president, I think it was Obama, came out and said, oh yeah, what was it, that they were spraying us with the what's it called, the chemtrails, that they were spraying toxins on us, and they were, like, denying it for how many years, and then they finally came out and said, oh yeah, we are spraying it on you guys, and it was all over the news and everything. And then all of a sudden, like, a day or 2 later, or 10 days later, whatever it was, like, all of a sudden that information was gone. It was like he never said that. And they did the same thing with the aliens, when they admitted about aliens a while back too, and everybody just acted like they never said anything. So anyway, I just wanted to post, just chat with you guys and see, like, let you know, like, when you get off your path, like, crazy stuff can happen. And I mean, I'm not really trying to take credit for stuff, because I know there's other people, there's other light workers, other angels, other whoever that's doing their part in helping to heal the ozone layer too. It's not just me. But it is crazy, because, like, I literally, every time I focus on healing the ozone layer, bright blue light, and then I focus on cooling everything down, because I don't want it to be hot, because its humidity it really affected me, and I had heat exhaustion, and I couldn't work quite a bit at times, and I got dizzy, and so it wasn't very fun, and I even got sick. It was bad. It was really bad. So needless to say, I've been, like, channeling Mother Earth and working with her, on the nudgings and advice of the angels too, like, hey, connect with the earth, and make sure that, I'm lined up and in sync with her, to make sure that I'm doing what she needs, so that way I'm not depriving the plants or anything of sun, or I'm not overwatering, or, anything like that. And so I have been, and I've been connecting, and I'm, like, really excited. But yeah, so it's actually kind of chilly here. And yesterday, I wanted to record this yesterday, but I had a bunch of stuff going on. But yesterday I wound up seeing, like, squirrels and chipmunks were, like, running through the trees. Like, one was chasing one, like, yelling at it, and, like, chasing it all the way from, like, treetop to all the way across to, like, 4 trees over. And you see them, they just fly and jump through the trees, running from branch to branch through trees. And this one was chasing the other one off. But anyway, so when it got back to this other tree, after it was done chasing the other one off, I noticed leaves were falling, and I was like, why are leaves falling? Like, it's only July. Leaves should not be falling right now. Like, unless they're just, it's time for a new batch of leaves right there, but I don't know, like, normally you don't see leaves fall like that. This early on, and then it was weird because I paid attention, and a little while later I saw a whole bunch more leaves falling when the wind was blowing, and so I'm like, I don't know, maybe I've been overwatering. So so I just wanted to say, like, if you veer off your path, I mean, look at the stuff that's happened, like, I stopped healing the ozone layer for, gosh, it was probably like almost 10 years or something, and things were really looking grim, and we were supposed to have this catastrophic flood, and I started healing the ozone layer again, and the next thing you know, like, they say, like, we're back to like 1984 times when we didn't have that much pollution in the air and stuff, and things weren't that bad yet. I mean, they still weren't good, but they're saying that if things continue, that by the year 2066 or something like that it's going to be like just super way cleaner. So anyway, I just wanted to say, like, whatever you feel your path is, what you feel called to do, what you feel called to be, if you feel like you're taking, like you're following your gut instinct, and you're going with something just like me, having confirmation and going with the ozone layer and healing it, and it's just, if you do something that to others it may seem like you're nuts, may seem like you're off the wall, you're trying to tell somebody that story that knows you, and they'd be like, oh, this person's out of their flipping mind. Who knows, maybe you think I am too. I don't really care. I know I had confirmation. I know what happened. I was there, you weren't, so it's the same for you. So whatever you know and feel in your heart and you believe you're being called to do, you need to do it. I don't care if it means moving to Timbuktu, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Don't hurt people, ever, or animals, but as long as you're not hurting anyone and you're just doing you and doing what you feel you're meant to do, then that's what you're meant to do. So go with your gut, trust your instincts, and don't let the haters, knock you off your stride. All right, deuces. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out, and then I'm going to get into your guys' reading. But we did get this card because I asked the angels this time. Remember, this was the deck that it didn't want to pop out for us. Anyway, so this card is Mirror. Treat your body like the palace it is. So I don't know if that goes to this conversation that I wanted to have, or this one. It's time for healing that war. So I just wanted to point that out. And I wanted to welcome you to open up and talk if you feel the need to talk about what your calling is, if you have a question that you want me to cover in a tarot reading. But anyway, I've got an awesome reading coming up. I got some new cards again, and this one's really cool. So, all right, we got fake smiles. See, I'm not even asking the question yet. But anyway, this one's popping like crazy. So I'll see you in the tarot. Chat soon. Ciao.